now for an update on sports stories from across the globe. Aaron, the Baron, Akira Jola, joins us. Good morning, Aaron.
Yeah,
How are
very
you
good
today?
morning to you, Vimbai. Good morning to you, Rufai. Good morning to you, Adefemi. Let's get it started with the Premier League. Even though the title is already won, in the bag, we still had drama. Rufai, your boys came through. Let's start it off from the... Yes, they did.
I've given up on those ones. Those ones
against
are
Liverpool. So if we can have
Liverpool gave them that game.
Punch it up. No, I would not agree because they bossed the game from start to finish. Dominated Latvia, Caicedo, certainly, and not forgetting Enzo Fernandez, who opened the scoring, by the way, actually beating them 3-1 was how it actually ended yesterday. But not to forget, if they could actually always help us play it on, not to forget, they actually gave them a guard of honor. And Liverpool will actually enjoy the guard of honor till they do this thing. So moving on, moving away from that, moving away from the guard of honor that actually happened, let's talk about Moses Caicedo. Yesterday, the Chelsea award actually happened, and he picked up the player of the season, and every major gong there were to be won in that particular award. A very, very landmark season for Moses Caicedo after that big money move from Brighton, Hove and Albion. So let's see how he actually goes. Pressing it further than this as we actually go on, let's look at other things. Manchester United continued their rotten streak by losing to Brentford 4-3 yesterday at the GTEC Stadium. And also not forgetting, when you actually look at how things have actually played out right now, you look at the table and you find out that we know who will finish, we know who has finished first, second, third, fourth. And if they can actually help us punch it out, you'll find out that Arsenal, after losing this weekend, might not finish second on the table. And it's rather unfortunate how things have actually played out for the Gunners this season, because just 3 points separate Arsenal at the moment from Manchester City, and how things are actually heating up. You can actually see there. Thank you very much. So Arsenal right now are on 67 points. Manchester City, after a win over the weekend, or on Friday rather, took them to 64 points. Newcastle 63, Chelsea 63. So as it stands right now, Arsenal, if they do not pick up pace, they might lose on Wednesday and also lose.
How did we get here? I don't understand. Sorry.
Adefemi, that's a big question.
How did we do that? That's a big jump.
That's a big question.
We're talking about two different competitions here entirely. Please, let's not do that. You feel attacked.
No, yeah, okay. You know he's a Man City fan, so they'll say anything after they fail this season.
Okay, quickly, these are the teams that have actually had more than or multiple players that have scored more than 10 goals. So you can actually see there Barcelona, Brentford, and Bayern Munich. Speaking about Bayern Munich, Harry Kane and Bayern Munich lifted their trophy. Harry Kane's very first trophy. This is a man in his 30s right now. He's seen everything. If they can actually punch it for us, he's seen everything that there is to see when it comes to goal scoring. He's played for England, he's played for Tottenham Hotspur, and right now he's in Bayern Munich in Germany, winning his first trophy. But he wasn't on the pitch because he was suspended for this particular game. And that meant that he was somewhere alongside his buddy, Eric Dyer, and they were popping champagne and singing, "We are the champions." The very first trophy. What happens, we'll have to wait and see. So quickly, away from that, now let's bring it home. On the continent of Africa, we know the Under-20 World Cup, Nations Cup is still going on in Morocco. And quickly, Nigeria played against, it's in Egypt rather. Nigeria played against Morocco, and they ended goalless in that particular encounter. And Group B is looking very, very tight. Nigeria huffed and puffed, but ultimately they were not able to find the back of the net or break the duck. So goalless, it actually ended. And as it stands right now, when you look at Group B standings, you'll find out that Nigeria and Morocco are still top, because Tunisia beat Kenya from that same Group B yesterday. And if you can press it out for us, you'll see the table. And as it stands right now, it's still a very open group. Very, very open, because Nigeria has got 4 points, Morocco 4 points, Tunisia 3 points. So anything can happen going into the final game.
See what happened to your voice after you said that about Arsenal.
All right, quickly in the NBA, because of time, in the NBA, the Golden State Warriors are through to the semifinals after defeating the Houston Rockets in Game 7. They had to stretch it to Game 7, but ultimately Steph Curry and the gang decided to rise up. But the man on the day was Buddy Hield, who actually had 33 points. And the Golden State Warriors will be facing the Timberwolves. It is going to be feisty, because if you press it further, the semifinals for the Western Conference and the Eastern Conference is all set OKC against the Nuggets, the Golden State Warriors against the Timberwolves. That is one to watch out for because the Ant-Man will be cooking. He's actually cooked some people already. LeBron James in the previous round with the LA Lakers. So right now, let's see what happens against another Hall of Famer, Steph Curry, in the making. So we'll be keeping an eye on that one quickly. And not forgetting Formula One. Oscar Piastri is back into it, and it's looking like this might be the season for Oscar Piastri and the McLaren. Last season, they won the Constructors. This time around, they're going for the individual award. So Piastri doing that one in Miami. Lewis Hamilton and the whole Ferrari team still in 5 and 6s as we speak, not entirely sure what is actually going on. It is not really the vintage kind of thing because you can see it was a McLaren 1 and 2 with Norris, Lando Norris actually coming in second and George Russell coming in third. So you can actually, Lewis Hamilton is down there on 7th there. So this man is actually pulling away, talking about Piastri and Norris. Verstappen still in the wind also. So when it comes to the constructors, it's almost a slam dunk. It's looking like it's going to be McLaren all the way. And quickly, our wrestlers are doing so well in Morocco because at the stand right now, 13 medals have been won so far. All right, Favor Genesis, she's actually leading the charges. There, 10 gold, 1 silver, 2 bronze. So far, kudos to them. And finally, the one that shocked me over the weekend, something that got me aback. We had the commissioner to speak about it. The governor of Enugu State hosted the Enugu City International Marathon. And the governor ran 10 kilometers in 45 minutes.
That is amazing.
10 kilometers in 45 minutes. And I was like, my God.
Good fit.
My God. Wow. Okay, of course, because that was the governor there. At the starting point, they almost pushed him away, by the way, because you can see the crowd actually wanted to race there for the 10 kilometers there. But the governor ran and it was quite impressive. And your man, Yele Shore, so it was, you could actually see that.
That's real competition.
Yeah, that's real competition. And the man breasted the tape, all right, for the 10 kilometers. So you can actually see that this is impressive. If we see more people, more governors do this, we know the Lagos State governor is always present for the marathons and the rest of them. And not forgetting the former governor of Edo State, Senator Adams Oshomole. When it comes to the races, your man, Yele Showore,
But
is always at every single marathon. He's as fit as a fiddle.
So fun fact.
Yeah.
Vimbai.
Yes.
I was Shore's pacer trainer when he came to do the Lagos Marathon about 2 years ago. He came to my gym. I paced him up I think we did 4 or 5K less than 35 minutes, that day. So I was his pacer. But good one on that 45 minutes. But that pace I'm seeing in his leg, juxtaposing with 45 minutes running the marathon.
No, you have to pace yourself.
So
now.
maybe
Slow,
something, but it's good fit. I mean, Yele is always very good fit. I mean, he should. When next he comes to Lagos, we should do more runnings and pacing of races like that and on all of that. Yeah.
I just have one thing to say, which is that if Harry Kane were African, we'd send him for deliverance because there's no way you always lose at the final.
True.
The time when you finally win, you're not even present to lift up the trophy yourself. We didn't send him for deliverance.
We should have sent John Terry long
Village people.
There we go. I mean, as the resident Guna, I'm looking forward to this week. We are going to turn around, make ourselves get into the final.
Make or bust for Arsenal.
We will do.
They'll go to Paris.
Stop your man.
They Parc de France.
We will go.
And the game of their lives must happen on that day. Let's see how it happens.
What can they do to you?
What can they do to us?
Famous
Let's go.
You know what it reminds me of?
Tell me.
Reminds me of 98, 99, leading up to 99 for Man United.
Yes.
That famous trip to Turin in the semi-finals. They thought it was all over. Man United went out there. They got onto the finals. It was the finals up to the last minute. Giovanni Eva scored the first goal for Bayern Munich. They thought it was all over. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer came in.
Chelsea
and
2012.
Teddy Sheringham lapped it up.
Chelsea 2012 also.
We believe.
Okay, let's see how it goes.
That's it.